Welcome back to Black Ops 3 Zombies Dead Ops Arcade, and in this, oh shit, wrong clip. Today, we're going to be going over the top 10 out of all of the weapons, the 10 best transformed, remodeled weapons. Obviously, this is going to be in my opinion, but you can have your own opinions down below. So yeah, let's go over the top 10 best remodeled weapons.
Number 10.
The minigun back then was pretty much a standard minigun type of weapon. It was big and bulky. It was just a huge weapon that was so much fun to use. Then after it's remodeled, I do have to say, it didn't necessarily get the most amount of remodeled stuff, because all it really did was just, I believe in my opinion, make it a tiny bit smaller, but at the same time they added a ton of stuff to it. So for an example, they added a brand new firing animation to where the Gatling or whatever it is, the barrels are starting to move around and shake all the time, but at the same time, I love the reloading animation. Basically holding up your minigun, taking out the entire giant magazine, then putting in a brand new one, and then just already being able to fire again. It's just a really cool animation, but my favorite part out of all of them is obviously like, what's it called? Just the firing animation in third person, because it feels like you're doing a ton of damage. Even though this weapon didn't really get that much of a remodeled, apart from some new animations, a little bit of like a dark bluish type of what's it called, color paint or whatever, it just does really it got a lot of remodeling things to it. Although it didn't get a lot, it's still a pretty cool weapon to see its remodeling to a pretty nice looking actual minigun.
Number 9.
The double barrel back then was this giant wooden type of thing. Now I couldn't really find any like actual pictures back then, but realistically this is actually now its transformation, an actual looking double barrel shotgun. It went from a giant wooden piece of actual I guess double barrel shotgun to an actual double barrel shotgun, to where it's actually pretty small enough. Actually got a pretty nice animation. All it really did was just give it a reloading animation, but seeing the transformation from this giant wooden thing all the way down to this little small barrel shotgun is actually pretty cool. Also, especially the fact that it actually did get a double, what's it called, shooting mechanic, and basically you get to shoot all 2 shots at once, basically doing 2 times the damage for 1 bullet. But realistically, the transformation of like this giant bulky thing, which really wasn't really too good to look at, only reason you should be using it was in third person, because it would cover up a decent amount of your space on your screen. But now that it's actually this small thing where you get to see yourself put in 2 satisfying what's it called, shotgun shots in each slot, it just feels like a really good type of weapon, realistically.
Number 30.
The AR-15 went from something you could buy at the flea market as a toy to basically looking like a pretty standardly good assault rifle. Literally, it doesn't even look anything like its former, what's it called, weapon, especially the fact that it got changed for both stats and design. This weapon is actually a pretty damn standardly good weapon, even though it did get a decent amount of changes, such as the fact a new reloading animation, a new looking animation, and especially the fact that it just feels like an actual assault rifle you're actually holding and actually feels competent. It is still a pretty nice looking design, and especially a new change. I don't know what else to say. This assault rifle actually looks like basically a better, stronger version than its former version, and it doesn't even feel like, what's it called, it was actually the original, what's it called, plastic looking toy or whatever. It actually feels like a weapon that's sort of related to it, but a stronger version of it.
Number 7.
Number 7, I'm pretty sure you all know, is my favorite of all time. It is the Tommy gun. No matter what game it is, every single time there's a Tommy gun in there, I just want it all the time, because it's such a fun and awesome weapon to use. This gun back in the days was, you know, just a pretty good gear type of a Tommy gun. It actually had a decent amount of ammo, and its accuracy was on the spot. But either way, aside from the stats, the new version actually looks kind of similarly to its original version, although it does have a ton of changes. Number 1, there is of course the fire ray, aka the shooting animation. It would go up and down, like vibrating all the time. It was actually a pretty cool type of weapon. And then there was the reloading animation, my favorite part of it. You just basically pull down your entire drum magazine, put it back up, and then just immediately go on top of the gun to where it was, the little ball or whatever, bolt or whatever it is, push it back, pull it up, and then instantly it would be back in the game. The animations for the reloading is just my favorite part out of all of them, because it just feels like you're reloading a very strong and very superior type of weapon, even though it kind of is, not gonna lie. But realistically, it didn't get too many changes to why it's pretty low on the what's it called, on the list. But realistically, the fact that it changed a lot from so many changes and animations, it just feels like a weapon I needed to put on here.
Number 6.
Number 6, the Spaz, one of my also favorite weapons. Just the fact that of its power and sound, basically. Even though the M1014 kind of does the same thing as it. This weapon's design doesn't even look too similar to its previous form. The previous form had this giant kind of looking shotgun that was actually looking pretty competent. And then it had its, and Google says it's forend or something like that. So I guess I should call it that, the thing you know, pull back and whatever to shoot again. It actually got completely changed to this pretty standardly good auto shotgun type of thing, to where you shoot one shot obviously, but you can basically spam it like crazy. Now, in fairness, the design wasn't too much, because all it really did was just give it like a ton of like changes, such as the fact of a new, what's it called, shoulder thing, shoulder grip or whatever, a new holding grip, whatever your arm is, where your hand is to like shoot it or whatever. Then there's the fact of like the entire barrel and body of it. Not too many changes, but at the same time it doesn't really look at all to its previous form. It just feels like a weapon that was completely changed to a ton of, what's it called, locations, if that makes sense. I don't really know how else to explain it. You just have to look at these two weapons and agree that they look completely different and not at all similar.
Number 27.
Number 5, bolt action sniper. Now, I know for a fact I'm not even good at sniping. I did that whole crossbow one and it took me like 15 games to actually master it, which I guess is something. But realistically, when I tried the sniper out, I can't deny it was pretty fun to actually use. And it doesn't even look at all like its original version. I mean, look at this original version of it. I don't know why, but it kind of reminds me of what's like in a zombie movie. I don't like, probably like World War Z or something like that. But this weapon, compared to its older version, don't look anything similar. Just, I mean, look at them, literally. I mean, the current version we have, I'm pretty sure we all know what game it looks very similarly to, but realistically, it doesn't even look at all to whatever it is similar to back in the days. And not gonna lie, the old sniper back in the days was actually pretty strong and you really didn't have to aim. But now the sniper that we have in this day, you kind of do have to aim, and it does have a zoom mechanic in it, so that's pretty cool. I don't know why the Gauss gun doesn't have that, even though it does have a scope. But realistically, this sniper just feels completely different, especially with the fact that it got so many changes, such as every time you shoot a shot and you're reloading your next shot, you have to like pull back the whatever it is lever. And then there's also the reloading animation, which is pretty cool, to reload in a giant magazine into a new, I don't know, shot or whatever. It's just a pretty cool type of weapon to see changed.
Number 24.
Number 4, Mini 14. I know for a fact that this weapon and its previous version don't look anything similar. I mean, just look at them. They look like completely different weapons, and you can see how, and you can see why it's so high up on the list, and that's mainly because they don't look anything similar. Even the fact that their name was changed. Yes, I forgot what it was called. I'll probably look back on the footage, but I'm just too lazy to do that. But realistically, its entire name and body structure was changed, and now it's actually a pretty standardly good and satisfying weapon to actually use. Now, it's not really too much of a threat if you see like a new person actually using it, but it's still a pretty strong weapon, since its literal headshot damage is like 100 and something, I can't remember. So literally, you could just snipe infected from a long far away or whatever it is, a long range distance, that literally it just feels like a pretty standardly competent weapon. Now, I don't say there is a reason why this is so high up on the list, and that's just the fact that literally it looks completely different. Obviously, we know what games that this is based on, like Call of Duty and stuff like that, but realistically, this weapon is changed completely from the name all the way down to the body structure, not even looking semi-close or related to its original version.
Number 16.
Speaking of not even looking similar, we have the RPG-7, one of the best, or is technically the best secondary in the entire game. There is no argument for that. The fact that you literally get to clear out so many infected hordes with so much damage just by one shot and by infinite range, technically, It just feels so fucking good whenever you just clear out so many of them after using one shot, especially if they're all like bloaters and regular infected, and especially like spitters. It just feels so satisfying to see all those coins that just appear on your screen and just all of that basic infected body parts on the ground. Even though we're basically going into that type of thing, we're going to be going over basically its original design. Its original design is actually pretty okay looking. It actually looks like a military type of weapon, but then they changed it completely to where it actually looks like a pretty standardly good RPG. Down from its basic design, it looks completely different. Now, they actually look like completely two different weapons, but actually look like they can deal the same damage. And the fact that this RPG got a new basic reloading animation where you basically pull it down to whatever, to the same level as you are, so you'd be able to put the same exact green, RPG type of bullet into your basic, I don't know, holder or whatever, I guess cockpit or whatever. This weapon just feels so fucking good to use, and especially the fact that it's a design whenever you use it in third person is so big. It's just the fact that it's just like saying, dang, I can't believe this is the same weapon considered to be back then as a green military type of weapon. It actually feels like a standardly good RPG type of weapon you would see military people using nowadays.
Number 12.
And now, speaking again about not even looking like its original design, we have the laser pistol. This weapon, okay, just look at these two. They do not look one tiny bit similar. They don't even have the same color type of, what's it called, skin or whatever to basically their design. I mean, the laser pistol looks like a galaxy type of laser pistol, to now this pistol we have looks like a standard pistol, but for some reason it uses a battery and that somehow makes it shoot laser bullets. I don't know the basic logic there, but it is completely different. Basically, literally everything from it. It doesn't even look at all similar. You can't even... Okay, if I basically told the noob, hey, would you say these two are similar? They'd be like, no. They obviously know, like, are they similar? Yeah, they're actually the same weapon, just completely different. This weapon, even though it got nerfed a ton to where it doesn't even have that much amount of ammo, it still does a pretty decent amount of damage. It has a nice shooting mechanic, and especially the sprint ability, or sprint, what's it called? Yeah, ability, to where you actually hold up the pistol to like your base, the side of your face, like your Leon or something like that. It just feels really satisfying to have like a pistol that high up to your face, and it actually feels like a standardly firearm you would actually basically put all your faith into. It just feels completely different to its original design.
Number 1.
Check this out.
That's where your son goes!
Speaking again and again, after not even looking like its original version, is the Gauss gun. This weapon got the most amount of changes in the entire game, period. This weapon does not even single-handedly look like the laser weapon, the notorious bastard back in the days. Just look at them two. They look like completely different weapons from two completely different games. Well, maybe not, but realistically, I just love this weapon's design. Even though it's one of my favorite weapons now, shocker, it's just so much fun to use. I don't care that people think that this shit is actually terrible, even though it kind of is. I just love the fact that it's so much fun to use, having this giant railgun type of weapon, being able to actually do a crap ton of damage to an infected, even though it is heavy as fuck. It has so many nice animations, such as the fact, obviously, the firing animation, the reloading animation, the, what's it called, I actually can't even think of any anymore. But realistically, it just looks completely different. It actually looks pretty epic now that you're basically looking at it. And in third person, it actually looks like you're holding a super futuristic weapon from like Resident Evil or something like that. It just looks completely different, down to basically its, what's it called, bullets color. Literally, the laser rifle's bullet color back in the day were green, and its entire premise of the gun was green. This gun is completely orange. It just feels like a completely different weapon. I don't know what else weapon literally looks exactly or basically completely different from its original version, but you do have to say this weapon got the most amount of changes, from stats to basically its entire design to basically its entire what's it called, performance in the entire game. And the basic weapon that I'm talking about is the Gauss gun. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Let me know your opinions down in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you guys up for 42 years and have a great game.